26. Day 26 is diagonal. So I am going to do a diagonal layout, which is kind of one of the layouts that I do a lot. So this is kind of not outside my comfort zone. I'm feeling good. So I'm also using 49 Market Botanical Bliss. So I'm kind of doing things that are all in my comfort zone today. This was a fun one. So I pulled out the solid pack from that and used some of the green. And then this really cool floral paper. And what I'm going to do is take the florals on the right hand side, and then I'm going to add an embellishment cluster using some rub-ons up on the top left side, and I'm basically going to create a diagonal layout. I did take this one cute little blue moth and I stuck it on there as well. That is the basis of my diagonal. I don't think you need to get too creative here with diagonals to still have it count as diagonal. And I think as you've watched my layouts, you'll know that I am a big fan of a diagonal. I think a diagonal is one of my go-to designs. I think we talked about it recently about the vertical stripes, vertical piece of paper. I think you're going to see that one again maybe tomorrow. But I love a good diagonal design. I also love these die cuts that come with this collection because they're all hexagons, and I'm going to use a hexagon to anchor, and then I'm going to use all of this kind of honeycomb and put that to the right of my photo to add a little bit of dimension and some color, and then we're just going to layer some die cuts around that. I have really enjoyed today because this particular layout I think is a lot of fun for me. I'm using some tags, I'm using some string and some die cuts and not a lot of else. It was a lot of fun to put this together, focusing on hexagons and really using this collection. It's one of those collections that I've been using a lot in this Scraptember, but sometimes you get a new collection and you just want to use it up. So I have been trying to use this one up. I think that I may be able to. The thing is, I'm going to have a lot of paper left, which is unusual for me. Usually I have a lot of embellishments and not a lot of paper. This one came with a lot of paper, which is really good, but I'm going to have to start deciding if I'm going to cut up the paper when I use it, because I think I'm going to have to start. I've been using just like one piece for every layout instead of using multiple pieces, and that's mainly because I've kind of been hoarding it, but I think this was the layout that made me realize I can stop hoarding it and just start using some of the paper. So maybe in the next few, you'll see me kind of cut this one up. Anyway, I'm pulling these laser cuts out. I rip a couple of them, but I'm going to make it work. And we're going to lay them out. And then you see me do the thing that you've seen me do so many times over this month, is flip something upside down so that are you ready for this? Have lost it. I've lost my cute little bee. I wanted that bee and I can't find it. I end up finding it, but it takes me a while to realize because it's tone on tone on the paper and it was really hard to find. If you can see it, you can make it in the comments, but it's right up there above the photo and I'm looking for it a lot. That's a flower. I thought that was the bee. That wasn't the bee. And there's the bee. So it took me a second to find it. After that, I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do in the bottom right to kind of give a little bit more of the diagonal. And I thought about putting some of those insides of the hexagon, but I didn't really like how that looked. Instead, I'm just going to add a few more florals before I go to find the title. I add a bee and a floral, and I think that gives it enough of a diagonal look. And really, I'm going for the fact that all of those flowers from the paper are already there, so that makes up most of the diagonal. So answer in the comments below, do you love a good diagonal layout? It's, like I said, one of my go-to designs. I think it gives your eye a place to go to. It lets you put the picture kind of in the center, but it doesn't seem out like it's in a bad place. It's just a lot of fun for me to do those kind of layouts. This is the first time I'm going into the puffy stickers that came with this, and it's for the title Be-You-Tiful. And I wanted it to all fit across the photo. It hangs off a little bit. I've decided I'm okay with that. I pushed the U over a little bit. I could probably move it over a little bit more, but at some point you don't want to keep pushing on your photo. And then I take a couple of the hexagons that are on here, the hexagon clusters, and I add one to each of my clusters, and just to add a little bit more dimension. I'm also going to add some of the puffy hexagons around, almost like enamel dots. and that gives me a little bit more dimension for each of the clusters. So in the end, this was a very quick layout using one collection, one piece of paper, and then just a few of the embellishments. It's what I like to do when I have a collection, is use it all together. I also looked to see if I could maybe put another word there. I didn't end up not wanting to use the word, so instead, much like you would use word stickers if you had them, I'm going to use these word chipboard phrases and put one at the bottom of the photo. So you've seen me use this collection for quite a few of these sunflower photos. I think it just goes well. There's nothing wrong with having a collection that you think works with a set of photos. So thank you so much for watching. The last thing I'm going to do is put this twine through that tag. You're going to see me kind of tie the twine and then put a little bit of glue just to hold it. And that's the end. You'll see a close-up in a second. I will see you tomorrow when we tackle pattern paper. Have a great Scraptember. Bye-bye.